Hi, my name's Anica. I'm an Australian artist, mainly in watercolours. I do gouache and some oils and acrylics as well. I was invited to do a Seascape workshop in Melton the other day, and in preparation for this, I filmed myself practicing the painting just to give me an idea of where I was going and how I was doing it to be better prepared. And then later on, I thought, why don't I make this available for all those who attended to see the procedure again, and for anyone else who'd like to see it too. So thanks for watching, and here we go. This is the reference photo I took some time ago at Narrawali Beach. After a quick little sketch and rubbing out some of the areas where I didn't want pencil to show, I mix a bit of cobalt blue with a little bit of quinacridone coral, and then turn the painting upside down and start from the water's edge, painting down to the bottom, or in other words, to the top of the sky. I've probably added a little bit more blue than we did in the workshop, but every painting's different and every process is different. Then turning the painting the right way up again will block in the front foamy area. In this home practice, I didn't wipe out the foamy bits up the top, but I'll do it later. Now for the green of the wave, we mix up some cobalt teal blue with some nickel titanate yellow. And block in the main green parts of the wave, keeping it as light as possible in the top area. I then go for a deeper shade of green, mixing some cascade green with some yellow ochre, a bit of cobalt teal, a bit of blue if you like, and block in some of the medium green onto the green while it's still damp. This will help the colours to diffuse, keeping them nice and soft. Now mixing a darker green with more cascade green, yellow ochre and some cobalt blue, keeping it nice and thick and pasty. And then charging our medium green with this darker green really adds life and depth to the wave. Now by mixing cobalt blue and lavender, just placing some shadows underneath the bottom of the. Now mixing some lavender, maybe a little bit of blue, depends on what you like, and blocking the main part of the shadowed part of the wave. Just block it in loosely, playing with your brush, letting it dance around, and the freer you are, the more spontaneous and lively the wave will become. Now just placing some shadows underneath the top curl of the wave, just makes it look like it's coming over. Now I'm just going to lift out that long triangular bit of the wave that is on your reference photo. A quick test to see how damp the paper is. It's still nice and damp, so I'm mixing a very dark green with cascade green, a little bit of quinacridone coral, and more green, and putting in the darker bits for the bottom of the wave. Now a gentle spritz just to keep the paper a little bit moist. This helps to lift out any bits that I would like lighter, but also softens the paper for the little bit of extra medium green that I'd like to add to the wave. Nothing like a bit of fun splatter. It could be green, could be just water, anything you like. Now it's time for the curl of the wave. So I'm mixing up a little bit of cobalt teal blue with some nickel titanate yellow, and following the reference photo, there are 3 sections of colour that are important up here. There's the green on the top, the strip of white beneath the green, and then a strip of lavender, which reflects the foam. Then with a fan brush or with a splayed sumi brush, just pull the lines through all 3 layers, and you have a lovely roll. Next, I'm mixing some lavender and some cobalt blue and placing some sweeping lines indicating shadows cast by the frothy foam on the water. Now in the section of the waves where we have our veins, I've spritzed the page and am gently lifting out some of the veins. So we can either lift them out or paint them in with some gouache later, or both. In our workshop, we lifted out the spray on top of the waves, and I didn't this time round, so now I need to spray it, soften the paint, and wipe them out. Now it's time to give it a rest, let the painting dry, and come back to it. What I'd like to do now is warm up the top of the wave. It looks rather bland, and we'll do this with a glaze of nickel azo yellow. This is a very light glaze, but it really adds some life to the painting, and you can spread it all over the greeny parts of the wave. Now I'm really sorry the camera wasn't set up properly. The intention of this video was a practice for me, but I'm very happy to share it with you, but thanks for putting up with its faults. With lavender and a bit of neutral tint, I'm deepening the shadowed part of the foam all the way up to the curl of the wave. With a bit of white gouache and lavender, I'm re-emphasizing the veins in the wave. With the paper being a little bit damp, the gouache spreads beautifully, making it nice and soft. Adding a touch of neutral tint to my lavender, I mix a deeper lavender colour and after dampening the shadowed part of the wave, I blot it in gently, creating various layers of foam. Now to strengthen the bottom of the wave underneath the foam, yes, it's more cascade green and neutral tint and a little bit of blue, but just nice and thick and creamy and making it really dark down there, which adds drama to our wave. with some dark paint, dark cascade green and blue and yellow ochre. I'm adding some holes in the foam and some more shadows underneath. I need to strengthen the top of the wave again. With a little bit of cascade green, tiny bit, some nickel titanate and some nickel azo yellow. And now for the roll of the wave, it just needs some more oomph there and some darker tones. So it's the 3 strips or stripes of paint. So we've got the dark green, a light area, and then some lavender. And then with our trusty fan brush or splayed sumi brush, we can pull the lines right through. Looking at the reference photo, we can see some white lines going through as well. So I'm just adding a few of those. Now it's time to add the little tiny droplets of water that really make the wave come to life. So with a bit of white gouache and using a fan brush, or you can use a rigger brush to place some dots on the wave, just making sure they follow the flow and fall of the wave. Now for the distant water, the horizon, I'm mixing up some cobalt blue, a little bit of neutral tint, and I do have a line there, so I'm going to follow it and leaving some gaps in the water, suggesting reflections in the water. Behind the splashes, I'll just place a few little dots so that the splashes can now stand out a little bit more. With a slightly darker mixture of cobalt blue, neutral tint, and I've actually added a little touch of cascade green, I can suggest the waves in the distance. And now with more cascade green coming in the bottom of the wave again, making it deeper still. I'm sorry you can't see this very well, but here is the foamy bits in front so there are holes in the foam and you can see the sand, churned up sand below. I've used yellow ochre and a little bit of neutral tint and then some darker bits with slightly stronger paint. I didn't like the big smiley bit on the bottom of my wave, the roll, so I dampened the paper there and then added some white gouache with lavender and it made it look a lot better, I thought. And that's it for the home practice. Now this is where we left off in our workshop. Up until now you saw the practice that I did at home in preparation for the workshop, and now I'm going to finish the one that we did together. So just a few little shadows here and there, and let's go. A softer shadow next to the harder shadow. With white, I've raised some of the foam so that it looks a bit thicker. Some magical splatter. With some blue, some lavender and some neutral tint, I'm going to place some shadows underneath the raised foam to make it look more 3D. A little more depth to the bottom of the foamy wave. It's more of a dry brush technique. Warming up and harmonizing the top of the roll. A little bit too much there, so a quick spritz and a blot. Gently reinforcing the veins onto damp paper with white gouache with a little bit of lavender. With some lavender and neutral tint, I'm just making a few little shadows underneath the droplets of water, giving them a fuller look. A few more little fiddly bits, and here is now the finished scanned image of the one that we started in the workshop. Thanks for watching.